Ning Fan's eyes lit up. Yes. The commander of the Tri-Union Cooperation Zone was someone far beyond their current reach. But Song Kai, perhaps he had a way. After all, he was a chief. Though Ning Fan still couldn't quite figure out the hierarchy between the commanders of the Tri-Union Zone and the chiefs of each district, he guessed the difference couldn't be too great. I heard, you're going to the Seoul Basin this time because of your captain? Song Kai's mood seemed to lift. For the first time in years he felt a flicker of hope. Even if the possibility wasn't certain yet, the mere thought of it was already a luxury. For any father, if there was a way, how could he ever beg someone to kill his own son? Yes. Ning Fan nodded. Our captain, to avenge his brothers, he willingly became a fiend. Lin Chuan, wasn't it? Old Su mentioned him once. Said he was a righteous man. Song Kai sighed. But in this damned world, good men rarely meet a good end. Ning Fan agreed. Those who kill and burn wear golden belts. Those who build bridges and mend roads leave no corpses behind. Su Bei slaughtered across districts. Yet because his father was a commander, even if caught, he was untouchable. In that case, all expenses for your trip to the Seoul Basin, I'll cover them. Song Kai suddenly declared, make me a list of what you need. I'll find people to get it for you. I know this place better than you. Ning Fan and Xiao Fei felt a little embarrassed. No need. We still have enough money for now. Xiao Fei waved her hand. Besides, we haven't even found the person yet. It's fine. Old Su said you're reliable and I trust his word. Song Kai spoke generously. Even if you don't find my son, let's just call it friendship. After all, you've given me hope. He sighed softly. Without hope, living is too hard. Suddenly Ning Fan understood why Song Kai often drank with Su Jiang. Because of his son. Though he was a chief, he was still a man. There were burdens he couldn't cross, sorrows he couldn't untangle. Uncle could numb him if only for a while. Ning Fan had long carried a question in his heart. After some hesitation he finally asked, Brother Song, I've always wondered, what exactly does old Su do? He spoke earnestly. I can feel his prestige in District F21 is high, but... Song Kai chuckled. But the old rascal looks like he doesn't take anything seriously, right? Exactly. Ning Fan smiled wryly. Yet he brought in the Wolf Alliance to help us. He seems dependable when it matters. Contradictory. Just like his son Su Ben, both foolish and clever at once. Old Su, he's a strange one. Song Kai's lips curved into a smile. I said earlier, good men don't end well. But likewise the truly wicked don't always die peacefully either. Ning Fan stayed silent. Song Kai went on, Old Su is the kind, call him good and sometimes he plays dirty. Call him evil and I'd be the first to disagree. Not blindly kind. Not utterly cruel. That was Su Jiang. Then why do people in F21 respect him so much? Ning Fan still couldn't understand. There were plenty like him. Why was Su Jiang the one who thrived here? Is it because he came down from the upper city? Bullshit. Song Kai, usually refined, suddenly changed when Su Jiang was mentioned. He was thrown down from the upper city. To put it bluntly, he's their discarded trash. Why should we worship him? What, are our knees in the lower city so soft? Song Kai fell into memory. When old Su was first picked up from the Road of Grace, his life was miserable. He sighed. You know how the upper city looks down on us. Rats in the gutter, cockroaches, vermin. Do you think we had no resentment? And then when a noble lord from above was cast down here, tell me who would treat him kindly. A highborn tossed into our sewer. Of course we vented our anger on him. When old Su first arrived, he had no food, no shelter. Anyone in a foul mood would head to the dump and kick him around. But Su never fought back. He just slept in the garbage heap, ate whatever scraps he could find. Some even joked, this upper city lord had no heirs at all, he was more like a cockroach than us. Hearing this, Ning Fan and Qiao Fei felt a stir in their hearts. Though Su Jiang now looked like a beggar, none of them had imagined he once lived like that. And later, Ning Fan asked, "Did people eventually accept him?" Accept him? What a joke. Song Kai dismissed the thought. Centuries of resentment don't vanish so easily. Suppressed anger only grows fiercer. Honestly, it's not something I should tell you. Ning Fan felt frustrated. The chief had stopped halfway through the tale. How cruel. Ah, forget it. That old bastard never cared about gossip anyway. He's lived his whole life unafraid of people's tongues. Song Kai seemed caught up in the story, reluctant to stop. There was a young widow. Her husband, a wanderer, died outside, leaving her alone. She was kind-hearted. Seeing old Su eat garbage every day, she sometimes brought him leftovers. Nothing fancy, just scraps from home, but far better than trash. Su wasn't shy. He waited for her daily, never even said thank you. After a month, the widow was pregnant. Ning Fan froze. Old Su's got skills, huh? Wooing widows from the garbage heap. Qiao Fei shot him a glare. Your mouth's getting worse, just like Hui Zi's. Ning Fan gave a sheepish grin. Go on, brother Song. That child wasn't Su's. Song Kai explained. It was her husband's seed left before he died. Nothing to do with Su. Ning Fan suddenly realized. That child. Yes. It was Deben. Song Kai nodded. Back then many thought the widow was shameless. Clinging to upper city trash right after her husband's death. Wasn't that disgraceful? Soon rumors spread. The child in her belly was Su's. From that day on, the widow's life was never peaceful again. At first, the gossip in the alleys and streets didn't bother the young widow. But as time passed, the whispers spread across the entire district. Some even claimed that while her husband was still alive, she had already been involved with old Su. Song Kai licked his dry lips. She was a woman after all. Who doesn't care about their reputation? In time she couldn't bear it anymore. She stopped bringing food to old Su. Old Su, however, took it in stride. He had survived on garbage before, he could survive again. Without the widow's meals, his food was worse, but he didn't complain. He simply returned to the life he had lived when he first arrived. Half a year passed like that. Then the widow died. Ning Fan's heart gave a jolt. He realized that perhaps it was at that moment that old Su truly came back to life. How did she die? Qiao Fei, sensing the weight of the story, asked softly. She was beaten to death by a group of men. Song Kai sighed. She had just given birth. Everyone around had already decided the child was Su's. They called it a bastard, said she had disgraced the dignity of the lower city. People always need a reason to vent their rage. And then they carried her corpse to the garbage dump, threw it at Su's feet, and warned him. Anyone who treated him kindly would meet the same fate. Ning Fan felt a deep bitterness. Yes, Su was from the upper city. And Ning Fan himself harbored hatred toward those above. But Su hadn't provoked them. Thrown down, he had hidden in corners, harmed no one, disrupted no one's life. Why torment him? Wasn't this the same cruelty the upper city inflicted on the lower? Ning Fan dared not imagine Su's feelings when the widow's body was cast before him. They say Su was calm, Song Kai continued. He asked them only one question. The child. Qiao Fei's eyes flashed. That must have been what he asked. Yes. Song Kai nodded. They had thrown the child into the wilderness. Ning Fan closed his eyes. Even now he couldn't bear to picture it. They said abandoning the child was to atone to the widow's dead husband. A bastard had no right to remain in the district. Su said nothing. For the first time he left the district. 3 days later he returned carrying a boy. That boy was Deben. Song Kai lit a cigarette, steadying himself before continuing. And those men who killed the widow? Within a week they all vanished. Where did they go? No one knows. Their bodies were never found. Song Kai thought for a moment. Once when drunk I asked Su about it. He said they had simply gone to the place they were meant to go. After bringing Deben back, Su no longer lived at the dump. He became a sorter on the Road of Grace, rented the shabby little house he still lived in. When asked, he said Deben was his son. Ning Fan frowned. But doesn't that mean he admitted the widow was with him? Yes. He admitted it. Song Kai gave a bitter smile. He said, the dead don't need a reputation. The living child does. Without parents, a bastard is easy prey. From then on he was Deben's father. Whoever bullied Deben, Su would protect him. Qiao Fei nodded. He was right. Even if he explained the child wasn't his, no one would believe it. Exactly. Song Kai agreed. Most people believe what they want to believe. At least Deben turned out filial, Ning Fan remarked. Saved from the wilderness, he owes Su his life. And now he's grown up healthy. How could he not be healthy? Su raised him on upper city delicacies. The boy never touched lower city food. Song Kai spread his hands. That brat lives better than I do. Ning Fan was stunned. Even after Su earned money as a sorter, he still ate garbage himself. His wages went to rent, and to buying fine food for Deben. As Su said, the child must never be wronged. With Deben, Su was no longer anyone's punching bag. Kick him fine. But insult the boy and within 2 days disaster would strike. Gradually people realized Su had real ability. Fewer dared to provoke him. Ning Fan asked, but that still doesn't explain his status now. Su's position in District F21 was far beyond mere fear of bullying. Listen to the rest. Song Kai cleared his throat. You remember the Wolf Alliance that helped you? Did Chu Hongba tell you anything? No. Just about the Seoul Basin mission. Ah, then he wasn't close enough yet. Song Kai smiled. That kid treats Su like half a father. Su met Chu Hongba's father somehow. They hit it off, became brothers. Back then old Chu led the Wolf Alliance. He was a force in F21. Few dared cross him. People said Su clung to old Chu for protection. After they became friends, fewer and fewer troubled Su. About 10 years ago, old Chu took a commission, led the alliance out. Only half returned. Song Kai's smile faded. Old Chu never came back. At the time, Chu Hongba was barely 20. He hadn't yet trained with his father. Just a reckless youth. He couldn't possibly manage the alliance. The old veterans began eyeing the banner for themselves. Ning Fan frowned. They were comrades. Was that necessary? It was. Song Kai's voice hardened. You don't understand how valuable the Wolf Alliance name was in F21. Put it this way. A job worth 20,000 to others, the Alliance could demand 50. Their reputation was gold. At old Chu's funeral, the veterans couldn't hold back. They surrounded the widow and orphan, demanding the banner. Chu Hongba was stubborn, refused to yield. A half-grown boy, beaten bloody at his own father's funeral. Su stepped in. Ning Fan asked. Song Kai nodded. He had just finished work on the Road of Grace when he heard. He rushed over immediately. Seeing Chu Hongba beaten half to death, Su asked him one question. Song Kai's eyes gleamed. This banner, if your uncle keeps it for you and you rebuild the men, will that do? Ning Fan's gaze froze. The men of the Wolf Alliance now, all of them were brought up by Chu Hongba himself. And those old veterans, surely they had all been cut down by old Su. The banner. Once Ning Fan might not have understood its worth. But thinking of Lin Chuan, thinking of the House of Stray Dogs, he knew well what a banner meant to a team. Men may die, but the banner must be carried on. It had nothing to do with money. From then on, old Su lived by 3 things. Work, caring for Deben, and taking Chu Hongba into the wild. Song Kai exhaled as though relieved. Now Su's life is easier. Deben has grown and Chu Hongba has shouldered the Wolf Alliance. Simple words. But no one could truly fathom what Su had endured in those 20 years. Even if he hadn't been from the upper city, even as an ordinary man of the lower, few could have survived such a life. Why was Su thrown down from the upper city? Ning Fan asked the question that mattered most. Song Kai smiled and shook his head. I don't know. You never wondered? Of course I did. Song Kai scratched at his chest. It gnawed at me every day. But how could I ask? Wouldn't that be like carving flesh from his bones? Ning Fan understood. When Su was first cast down, his soul was gone. It was the widow and her child, Deben, who gave him life again. Now Deben was grown. Su had no more anchors in his heart. So he drowned himself in wine. The upper city, his knot that would never untangle. Su long ago accepted himself as a man of the lower city. We needn't dwell on what he once was above. Song Kai stretched, weary from the tale. Then he remembered something. By the way, this story stays here. Don't repeat it to Su or that old bastard will drown me in liquor again. Seeing Song Kai's lingering dread, Ning Fan guessed easily. Though unspoken, Song Kai too owed Su a debt. Su might look careless, but when it came to action, he never faltered. The three talked a while longer. At Song Kai's insistence, Ning Fan and Xiao Fei left him a list of supplies for leaving the district. As Song Kai said, he knew F21 better. Some things weren't about money, things Ning Fan couldn't buy even if he had it. If they felt guilty, then at least bring his son back. Song Kai sent them by car to the inn. Before they even stepped inside, they heard Su and Huizi's voices. I'm not bragging. If I were a few years younger, I'd storm the Tri-Union Zone myself, just to give Chuan some justice. Yeah, right. Drink another cup and you'll claim the Tri-Union was raised by you. What, you don't believe me? Didn't you see yesterday in the wild? One punch. I had that earth dragon twitching on the ground. That I won't argue. Your fists are hard, old man. But I don't get it. Why not go out and fight instead of drinking at home every day? Fight what? I came down from the upper city. This is called a secret inspection. What haven't I seen before? Fight. What's there to fight? Fine, fine. You're upper city, you're noble, you're mighty, you've seen the world. Not like us rats and roaches. What jealous? Regret not being born above. What's there to regret? What's so great about the upper city? I'm fine here, brothers, friends, that's enough. True enough, damn it. If you can't drink, just say so. Pouring it on the floor. Think I don't see? Wine costs money. Outside the room, Ning Fan and Xiao Fei exchanged a look and a bitter smile. If not for Song Kai's tale today, they would never have imagined how many stories lay hidden in Su's past. Go stay in Huizi's room. Those two won't be done drinking anytime soon. Xiao Fei waved and returned to her chamber. Ning Fan went to his own, settling into rest. But as soon as he drifted into dreams, his spirit sharpened. A blade's edge lunged for his throat. That strike, he had rehearsed it countless times in his mind. Though his hand held no sword, he raised it as if it did. Swish. Jian Wuchou's blade was deflected. The sight was strange. Ning Fan's hand gripped only air, yet the enemy's sword struck resistance and bounced away. I lived. Ning Fan's eyes blazed. Though dying in a dream was not true death, the triumph of survival thrilled him. Across from him, Jian Wuchou studied his blade. From his face, Ning Fan read surprise. Rapid progress, Jian Wuchou said, withdrawing his sword. Good talent. So, have I mastered your swordplay now? Ning Fan cared for the praise. But Jian Wuchou doused him with cold water. Far from it. Ning Fan felt a pang of disappointment. Yet he also sensed the vast growth of his strength. If this was not yet the essence of Jian Wuchou's art, then his path forward was even greater. That was good news. I promised you, evade my sword and I'll answer 3 questions. Jian Wuchou's voice was calm. You've asked 1. 2 remain. Ning Fan froze. He remembered the promise. But that counts as a question? Of course. Jian Wuchou's tone was final. You have only one left. Ning Fan nearly exploded. He had endured much lately, his emotions steady. But now he almost lost control. Worse, he dared not speak. With Jian Wuchou's twisted logic, any stray word might be taken as a question. And then all three would be wasted. Ning Fan forced his mind to clarity. One question. What should it be? He pondered for 10 long minutes. Jian Wuchou did not rush him. At last Ning Fan's face hardened. You said my sword is a sword coffin. And you ate? Your souls were sealed inside by someone. Ning Fan spoke each word with weight. That person who bound you. Who was it? The answer might unravel part of the mystery in his heart. He was neither upper city blood nor lower city blood. Then what was he? Jian Wuchou hesitated only briefly. Then he raised a finger. Ning Fan's breath caught. For Jian Wuchou was pointing to the grandest coffin of all, emerald green, standing at the center. Him. The answer struck Ning Fan completely off guard. He stared hard at that coffin. The last soul sealed inside. Was the master of this broken sword? Who is he? Your 3 questions are finished, Jian Wuchou replied coldly. Ning Fan frowned, his heart itching unbearably. 3 questions, and in truth he had only managed to ask one. But with Jian Wuchou's nature, there was no chance of bargaining. What do I do next? Suddenly Ning Fan realized. If I pass your other trials, will I have more chances to ask questions? No. Jian Wuchou's answer doused his fire instantly. Why? No reason. Jian Wuchou's tone was flat. I simply don't wish to answer any more. The reply left Ning Fan furious, yet unable to vent. Then how do I open that coffin? If Jian Wuchou refused to speak, Ning Fan could ask the one sealed inside directly. Jian Wuchou laughed. Too early. He stepped back 2 paces, then hurled his sword into the air. Until you defeat me, none of the coffins will open. Before Ning Fan could react, the blade streaked down like lightning, aimed straight at him. Danger. Ning Fan twisted aside. Flash. The edge tore across his chest. Even in a dream the pain was real. He grimaced. But the sword gave him no time to suffer. After cutting him, it curved at a bizarre angle, stabbing toward his throat. Damn. In that instant Ning Fan knew he couldn't dodge. If you block this strike, your swordsmanship will have reached 30% of mine. Just before the blade pierced his throat, Ning Fan heard Jian Wuchou's voice. And then, he gasped the question in his final breath. Then I'll kill you with other techniques. The sword silenced him, driving through his throat. Ning Fan jolted upright in bed. Damn it. His temper flared. The questions hadn't been answered. And in the end he still died. Utterly suffocating. Knock knock knock. Awake. Qiao Fei's voice came from outside. Yeah. Ning Fan shoved aside Jian Wuchou's torment for now, dressed, and opened the door. Come down. The Wolf Alliance is here. At the edge of District F-21's wall, Ning Fan and Qiao Fei walked ahead, while Huizi staggered behind, leaning on the wall, head heavy. You knew we might leave the district today and still drank yourself half dead? Qiao Fei frowned in disapproval. Huizi bristled. You think I wanted to drink? His eyes were bloodshot. Ugh. That old bastard Su Jiang forced my jaw open and poured it down my throat. Ugh. Ning Fan gave a wry smile. Remembering how even Song Kai had shown fear of Su Jiang's drinking games yesterday, he felt a pang of sympathy for Huizi. You're here. Chu Hongbo strode up, glanced at Huizi, and his stern face broke into a grin. Got drowned by Master Su? Huizi flushed with embarrassment. Among his own it didn't matter. But in front of outsiders he had to save face. Drank evenly. That old bastard puked too. Heh. Chu Hongbo let it pass, then turned serious, looking at Qiao Fei. My men are ready. We can leave any time. Good. Qiao Fei pointed to 3 vehicles by the wall. Supplies are loaded. Check if anything else is needed. The cars had been sent that morning by Song Kai. All provisions packed. And the vehicles, far sturdier than the ones they had chosen themselves. Reinforced tires, armored shells. On the market, each would fetch at least 20,000 sola. Song Kai's generosity was undeniable. Chu Hongbo ordered his men to inspect. A young fighter checked and gave a thumbs up. Brother, all good stuff. Fine. Chu Hongbo nodded, then asked Xiao Fei again. When do you plan to leave? Now. Xiao Fei had no wish to delay. Chu Hongbo glanced at Huizi, concern in his eyes. Will you manage? What's there not to manage? Ugh. Huizi straightened unsteadily. Relax. I won't puke in the car. Chu Hongbo didn't mind. Even if Huizi was useless for now, the Wolf Alliance was the main force. Then let's go. Everyone boarded. Chu Hongbo rode with the House of Stray Dogs, while the other two cars carried Wolf Alliance men. Just as the convoy prepared to depart, a hearty voice called out. Wait. Ningfan turned. Su Ben came running, giant crossbow on his back. What's wrong, De Ben? Something happened to old Su. Huizi perked up. Alcohol poisoning? No, my dad's fine. He said he didn't drink enough yesterday, so he went to keep drinking with Uncle Song. Su Ben chuckled. Huizi's face turned green. Damn it. I nearly died drinking with you and you say you weren't satisfied? Spitting on my grave, are you? I'm coming with you. Su Ben yanked open the car door. What? Chu Hongbo blinked. De Ben, you too? Master Su allowed it. Yeah. Dad said he always takes me out, worried I'll get bored. Told me to go with you, see the world. Chu Hongbo frowned. Truthfully, he didn't want Su Ben along. If it were only the three from the House of Stray Dogs, Chu Hongbo would help for Su Zhang's sake. But still his priority would be his own men. But with Su Ben present it was different. Even if it cost his life, he could never let Su Ben be harmed. He understood Su Zhang's message clearly. Don't treat these three as outsiders. All right. Chu Hongbo's face hardened. De Ben, be careful. Something happens. I may not be able to protect you. Brother, why look down on me? Su Ben hefted his massive crossbow. If anyone blocks our way, I'll blast him to pieces. Just as Ningfan's group drove their three vehicles in formation, rumbling out through the gates of District F21. Inside Song Kai's office. Wait, old Su, didn't you drink until dawn last night? You're not even going to sleep. Song Kai looked at the row of liquor bottles on the desk and sighed helplessly. I've got a mountain of work to handle. How about we drink again tonight instead? Tonight I won't drink. Su Jiang waved his hand, grinning. I've had enough. Song Kai froze. He had been chief of F21 for nearly 10 years. He had known Su Jiang for just as long. But those 3 words, had enough, he had never heard from Su's mouth before. What do you mean? The playfulness drained from Song Kai's face, replaced by severity. Before Su could answer, Song Kai's pupils shrank. You let De Ben go with the House of Stray Dogs. The boys groaned. Time to let go. Su Zhang's smile carried a trace of reluctance. He's not my blood. I've raised him nearly 20 years. That's enough. Bullshit. Song Kai snapped. Don't feed me that nonsense. I know you too well. When have you ever not treated De Ben like your own son? Who do you think you're fooling? Su Jiang said nothing, only took a long swig. Old Su, what the hell are you planning? Don't scare me like this. The chief of F21, his brows knotted, eyes flickered with unease. What, afraid if I die no one will force liquor down your throat anymore? Su Jiang chuckled, scratching his red-veined nose. The miasma in my body is about to erupt. Song Kai blinked, then exhaled in relief. Damn. I thought it was something serious. You scared me half to death. He reached for his phone. I'll buy you a dose. As chief, the price of the special medicine was steep, but he could afford it. And the fact that he didn't hesitate, willing to buy it for Su Jiang without a second thought. Such friendship was rare in the lower city. No need. Su Jiang pressed his hand over the phone, his smile fading. That medicine. I'll get it myself. Where? Song Kai didn't understand. Su Jiang didn't answer directly. He simply raised his finger, pointing twice at the ceiling. Song Kai blinked, then his body trembled. Old Su, it's time to go back. Su Jiang's smile turned bitter, tinged with hate. Song Kai fell silent. But his lips trembled. Truth is, I thought about it. Maybe I should just stay here in the lower city. Die here. Be buried here. That'd be fine. Su Jiang sighed, sneered. But I can't accept it. Song Kai said nothing. Su Jiang continued. Old Song, do you know how far the upper city is from the lower? What do you mean? 18 minutes. 7 seconds. His voice rasped. From the moment I was thrown into the road of grace, I started counting. Until I hit the ground, it was 18 minutes, 7 seconds. His fist clenched, knuckles cracking. Song Kai shuddered. He couldn't imagine it, falling endlessly through that dark, stinking abyss, not knowing when he'd land or what awaited him at the bottom. And worse, Song Kai didn't know who had cast Su Jiang down. If it had been an enemy, fine. But if it had been kin? Old Su. Don't try to stop me. I'm stubborn. Su Jiang cut him off. The Chu boy is stronger than his father now. Deben, he's grown too. His eyes reddened. I've no reason left. Song Kai closed his eyes, tilting his head back. He knew Su Jiang's mind was set. No one could pull him back. Will you return? Song Kai asked quietly. Without you, drinking's no fun. Not sure. Su Jiang shrugged. Depends. If I live, I'll come back. If I die, then I'll be buried where I belong. Damn it. So you still think the lower city's filthy, don't want to be buried here? Song Kai cursed. Su Jiang only laughed. You call the lower city dirty because you've never seen what truly dirty looks like. He pushed himself up, swaying. Enough. You're in no mood to drink. I'll go. As Su turned to leave, Song Kai, though knowing the answer, still asked with trembling voice, Old Su, can't you stay? Su's body shivered. He turned back, eyes brimming with tears. For the first time, Song Kai saw Su Jiang cry. Su pointed to his chest. Here. It hurts. 2 hot tears streaked down his weathered face. It's hurt for 20 years. And old Su walked away. No matter how Song Kai resisted the thought, he knew. The old bastard wasn't coming back. From the moment he sent Deben away, he had no ties left. Damn you, Su Jiang. You knew you'd leave, so why bare your heart to me? Song Kai's anguished roar echoed through the office. Out in the wild. 3 vehicles drove in a line, steady toward the Seoul Basin. In Ning Fan's car sat himself, Qiao Fei, Huizi, Su Ben and Chu Hongbo. Huizi was at the wheel as always. He had driven since joining the House of Stray Dogs, skilled at it. If nothing major happens, we should arrive in 8 or 9 hours. Chu Hongbo leaned back, calm. Let's share the intel we've gathered these past days. All right. Qiao Fei had been gathering information. I heard there's a ghost market near the Seoul Basin. Yes, I heard too. It's sizable, almost a small settlement. Filled with wanderers who deal with fiends year-round. Chu Hongbo nodded. I also heard they sell fiends there. Sell fiends. Huizi glanced back, curious. There are people who capture them? Of course. Chu Hongbo shrugged. And they fetch a high price. Most fiends are high soul level. 10 soul fiends are common. 100 soul fiends not rare. And deeper in the basin, they say even 1,000 soul fiends exist. Just hearing it gave them headaches. Fiends were terrifying not only because they lacked consciousness, attacking blindly by instinct, but also because they were powerful. Long exposure to souls, sometimes absorbing weaker ones. Their soul levels rose swiftly. Compared to that, the growth of spirit servants was far harder. Ning Fan opened his mouth. Qiao Fei glanced at him. Say it. I was thinking. Ning Fan's brows furrowed, his gaze sweeping the group. Could we possibly find Brother Chuan in that ghost market? The moment those words were spoken, silence fell inside the car. Qiao Fei and Hui Zi had considered the possibility too. But they dared not hold too much hope. The greater the hope, the deeper the disappointment. We'll see when we get there, Qiao Fei said flatly. Thus, the three vehicles rolled on without much obstruction. They did encounter a few beasts along the way, but Ning Fan's car was untouched. The Wolf Alliance handled everything from the other two vehicles. Chu Hongbo sat with eyes closed, resting, never once moving to intervene. He was confident. His brothers could handle it. 4 10-soul fighters, 5 single-soul fighters. So long as they didn't run into high-tier beasts, they could walk this road sideways. At last, after nearly 10 hours of driving, lights appeared ahead. The Ghost Market. From afar it looked much like any district, only smaller in scale. As they drew closer, Ning Fan saw its outer walls were built from wild timber, far thinner than the district walls. Inside, the noise was deafening, livelier even than most districts. At the gate, 2 men in guard uniforms stepped forward to block their way. Brothers, how many of you? One guard eyed the 3 vehicles, his gaze brightening, his tone polite. 3 cars of this quality. Clearly these travelers had status. About 10, Huizi leaned out. Why? First time here, eh? The guard smiled, holding up 2 fingers. Entry fee. 200 sola per head. 200. Huizi's face darkened. 200 just to enter? And charged per person. The guard shrugged. We've got to eat too. The Ghost Market was a settlement built by wanderers themselves. Its location, less than 50 kilometers from the Seoul Basin. Its walls far weaker than those of a district. It needed manpower to defend. These guards lived off that fee. Huizi pulled back inside, his face twisted with pain. 200 per person. 14 people. That was 2,800. No small sum. What now? Do we go in? Ning Fan looked to Qiao Fei. She thought for a moment. We're here. Let's see it. Just as Huizi reluctantly reached for his money, Chu Hongbo opened his eyes, stretching lazily. Our car alone will go in. Gratitude flickered in Qiao Fei's eyes. Chu Hongbo's judgment was impeccable. The Wolf Alliance was here on mission, not leisure. They would never pay for such cost. It wasn't about money, it was principle. 2,800 sola was no small matter. Qiao Fei hadn't shown it, but she felt the sting. Chu Hongbo's offer saved her 1,800. And only he could say it. Thanks, Qiao Fei said earnestly. Chu Hongbo smiled. Our task is to help you find your man, not sightsee. No reason to make you pay for us. Qiao Fei wasn't one for fuss. A single word of thanks was enough. Huizi quickly paid 1,000 sola. The guard's smile widened. So, brothers here to buy fiends? Or maybe some gear? Just looking around, Huizi muttered. The guards waved them through. The cars rolled inside. Their first impression of the Ghost Market was simple. Yes. The entire area was packed with people, noisier than any black market. At least black markets had stalls, some semblance of order. Here anyone with space set up shop. No district authority. So long as no riot broke out, no one enforced order. Shouts, hawking curses. And beneath it all, guttural growls. Ning Fan peered out, his brow tightening. For the first time, he saw fiends. Not far away, a rusted cage held 3 beast-like figures, eyes crimson, snarling at the crowd. Their clothes were rags, their bodies smeared with mud and blood. Hands and feet shackled to the bars. Beside the cage stood 4 short pillars. Spirit suppressors. Ning Fan had seen them before, back in District F-27 when they captured Subei. No wonder the fiends were trapped, raging but powerless. Their spirits were bound. But spirit suppressors were rare, costly. F-27 had only 2 sets. How had the Ghost Market obtained so many? The air inside the car grew heavy. On one hand they hoped to find Brother Chuan here, proof he lived. On the other, they feared. Feared he might be like these fiends, chained like an animal, stripped of dignity. Brother, this price isn't high. Look at the quality. A voice of bargaining caught Ning Fan's ear. A middle-aged man stood beside another rusted cage, gesturing proudly. Young, beautiful. Over 80 tensol fiends. Whether for play or as fighters, worth every coin. Nearby, a cleanly dressed man rubbed his chin, conflicted. The seller pressed on. If you think it's steep, look around. I swear, no better stock in the whole market. The clean man sighed. Forget it. 50,000's too much. In the district, a decent girl's only 200 a night. That's not the same, brother. The seller licked his lips. Those women, what quality. But this is a fiend. Tell me, how many in the whole F region have tasted a fiend? Rare goods. Different flavor. You know I'm right. Ning Fan's gaze drifted to the cage. Is it? A girl. A very young girl. She was naked, shackled at wrists and ankles to the four corners, spread in a crude X. Madness flickered in her cries, but her beauty was plain. Had she not become a fiend, she would have stirred many men's hearts. Ning Fan sighed. He had been a wanderer long enough to think himself hardened. Yet this sight still unsettled him. But when he turned, he froze. Qiao Fei's face, twisted with fury. Her eyes locked on the cage. Her tang blade, already drawn. Ning Fan's gaze sharpened. He realized what she intended. Fei Jia. Ning Fan licked his dry lips. She's. The rest of the words stuck in his throat. But judging from Qiao Fei's reaction, he could already be certain. That girl was her sister. Qiao Fei had mentioned once before. Her younger sister had become a fiend. And now, before they even found Brother Chuan, they had stumbled upon her sister. In such a wretched state. Qiao Fei. Huizi had realized what was happening. If you try to stop me, I'll cut you down first. Qiao Fei's eyes were bloodshot, fixed ahead, not even glancing at him. Chu Hongbo hadn't expected this sudden turn. Though no one spoke, his sharp mind pieced it together. He narrowed his eyes, thought for a moment, then said quietly. Captain Qiao, this isn't part of the mission. I don't need you. Her hand was already on the car door. Chu Hongbo reached to stop her. But her tang blade was already at his throat. The flower dance spirit had been released. This was no district. Here spirit servants could be used freely. From this moment I leave the team. Her beautiful face twisted into a snarl. This is my business. It won't involve you. But don't you dare interfere. Everyone understood her feelings. She had long accepted that her sister had become a fiend. But no one could accept seeing their own blood treated like livestock. Just as she was about to fling the door open, Ning Fan seized her wrist. She whipped her head toward him, eyes blazing with killing intent. She had lost all reason. Whoever stood in her way she would kill. Fei Jia, I won't stop you, Ning Fan said firmly. But you have to let me finish. Her face was cold. Ning Fan pointed to the pillars on the ground. Those are spirit suppressors. He explained their principle in the simplest terms. If you strike, you'll step into their range. Your spirit servant will be useless. Do you really think you can kill that bastard then? He knew, if she left the car, her blade would go straight for the seller's head. Qiao Fei clenched her teeth, silent, fury undiminished. Fei Jie, if you rush in, you'll be caught, maybe killed. And tomorrow your sister will still be here, sold for 50,000 sola. Ning Fan's voice hardened. Even if you kill him, then what? Will your sister return to the Soul Basin? Oh. In the ghost market, anything without an owner belongs to whoever claims it. Ning Fan. Watch your tone, don't provoke her. Huizi snapped. But Ning Fan ignored him, gripping her wrist tighter. Fei Jia, listen. Even without my spirit servant I can fight. If you go, I'll go with you. If we fall here, so be it. Her eyes flickered. Ning Fan turned to Huizi. Brother Hui, when we get out, drive the car away and wait for us. Then to Chu Hongbao. Captain Chu, have your men cover us? Chu Hongbao nodded. No problem. Good. Thanks. Ning Fan faced Xiao Fei again. Fei Jie, if you're ready, we go now. His gaze sharpened, ruthless. Kill him. Take her. He had already drawn his battered sword. No bluff. If she chose to act, they would strike immediately, catching the seller off guard. Outside the ghost market, the Wolf Alliance would cover them. Escape was possible. Huizi stared at Ning Fan in disbelief. In that moment he realized. This boy was no longer a child. When you reach the gate, I'll mow down anyone chasing you. Su Ben hefted his giant crossbow. Ning Fan nodded in thanks, then looked to Xiao Fei. So, Captain, what's the word? You don't have to do this. At last she spoke. This is my burden. Ning Fan smiled. Among stray dogs whose burden isn't shared? He still held her wrist. Captain, don't hesitate. If you want to fight, we fight. If not, I'll find another way. What way? Xiao Fei's voice was calmer now. The same result. Kill him, take her. But with far less risk. Ning Fan's eyes darkened. You have a plan? She asked, brows raised. I do. His tone was resolute. She studied him for a long moment. After 2 minutes, she lowered her head, staring at his grip. Let go. All right. Ning Fan obediently released her. Captain, we'll do it my way? Her voice was ice. Kill him. Bring back my sister. Miss either and I'll settle accounts with you. Deal. Relief swept through the car. Huizi even gave Ning Fan a thumbs up. Not flattery, truth. Xiao Fei was usually calm. But when she snapped, she was merciless. That Ning Fan could steady her, worthy of respect. Hui, I need a favor. Ning Fan looked at him. What favor? Huizi asked. Play a role. Ning Fan grinned. From now on, you're my bodyguard. What the hell? Huizi bristled. You're getting cocky? Do as he says, Xiao Fei ordered coldly. Huizi opened his mouth, muttered under his breath, then sighed. Fine. You're the captain. You call it. He glared at Ning Fan. So what do I call you? Young master? Lord. Just young master. Lord might bruise your pride. Ning Fan chuckled, pushing the door open, striding toward the cellar. Behind him, Huizi raised a middle finger. Ning Fan reached the cage. Up close, Xiao Fei's sister was even more beautiful. 7 parts like her. Hey brother, checking the goods? The middle-aged man greeted him warmly. Good eye. Interested. What's the price? Ning Fan clasped his hands behind his back, aloof, not even glancing at him. The seller frowned at his arrogance, then looked past him. At the car he had stepped from. His eyes lit up. Anyone driving such a vehicle wasn't short on money. 50,000. He didn't raise the price but pointed to the clean man nearby. This brother's interested too. 50,000 isn't expensive. Ning Fan turned, crooked a finger at Huizi. Huier, pay him. Huier. Huizi's mouth twitched twice, his face turning a shade green. All right, young master. His voice rang out loud as he hopped out of the car, scampering over with a bundle of cash in his arms. Young master. The middle-aged man's eyes gleamed brighter. A fine car, a servant at his side. This boy clearly had background. In truth, Huizi was overacting. Ning Fan had asked him to play the role of a bodyguard, but by sheer talent he had turned himself into a sycophantic lackey. Yet the effect was even better. And Huizi seemed to enjoy it. He had been grinning obsequiously at Ning Fan, but the moment he turned to the seller, his back straightened, his chin lifted. 50,000, right? Huizi thrust the money into the man's arms with arrogant flair. Count it. If it's all there, we're taking the goods. The seller glanced at the cash, no longer caring about the lackey's attitude. No problem, no problem. He had been willing to haggle with the clean-cut man earlier. But this young master hadn't even bargained. The profit was pure. Wait. The clean man protested. I saw it first. The seller's eyes rolled. Brother, you haven't paid yet. I didn't say I wouldn't buy. The man grew agitated. Food always tastes better when fought over. Then I can't help you. This young master paid first and less. The seller rubbed his hands. You offer more. What do you mean? Before the clean man could speak, Ning Fan raised his brows, finally looking the seller in the eye. The man wasn't flustered. Young master, business is hard. If two want the same thing, the higher price wins. Who else wants it? Ning Fan asked. The seller pointed. This brother right here. You saw him. Oh. Ning Fan nodded slightly. Then smack. A sharp slap cracked across the clean man's face. The sound silenced the crowd. Wanderers loved a spectacle. The man's head snapped sideways. You bastard. Mind your tone when speaking to my young master. A dagger pressed cold against his throat. Huizi shed his lackey's mask, his aura turning icy. Finally he could be himself. Felt good. You want to fight me for it? Ning Fan's voice was low, dangerous. Behind him the car door opened. Su Ben's giant crossbow was already leveled at the man. Qiao Fei's tang blade had never been sheathed. And Chu Hongbo, sighing, reluctantly drew a coiled bone whip from his waist. The seller froze. He had known the boy had background. But not this kind of madness. Strike first, no hesitation. And the people in the car. All clearly his protectors. Who is he? My name is Su Bei, Ning Fan said coldly. If you're not convinced, come find me in the Tri-Union Zone. Huizi's eyes widened. This kid, what a sly bastard. He had worried the clean man might have background. But now it didn't matter. Any trouble, send them to Su Bei in the Tri-Union. Tri-Union Zone. The seller's face drained of color. The surname Su. A lackey calling him young master. His father was Su Wanjun, commander of dark lodgings. No wonder the arrogance. He had the capital. Any more problems? Ning Fan jerked his thumb toward the gate. I've got 2 more cars outside. Shall I bring them in to liven things up? The seller shivered. A young master traveling with 3 cars of escort. This was the power of a commander's son. The clean man clenched his teeth. Even if he hadn't heard of Su Bei, the display was enough to smother his anger. The guard who had taken Huizi's 1,000 earlier came over, smiling. He really does have more cars outside. Let's not fight. Business thrives on harmony. The guards didn't want trouble. It would only hurt them. Keeping the ghost market peaceful was their priority. The clean man swallowed his rage. Not that he lacked temper. But he couldn't win. He covered his face, glared at the seller. You call this business? Not my fault. The seller looked innocent. The man left. The crowd dispersed. She's mine now, isn't she? Ning Fan asked, pointing at the cage. Of course. Ning Fan frowned slightly. I've never bought a fiend before. If I put her in the car, will there be trouble? The seller scratched his head. Young Master Su, truthfully, fiends aren't easy to control. He patted the spirit suppressor beside him. They're too aggressive. You need devices like this to suppress their spirits. Oh. Ning Fan eyed the device. Sell it to me? This can't be sold. The man shook his head like a drum. It's my livelihood. If I give it to you, I'll struggle to get another. Damn it. So what if the fiend hurts my young master? You'll pay. Huizi barked. The seller winced. The lackey was overbearing, but he didn't dare push back. Brother, that's not what I mean. Once the goods are sold, handling them is up to the buyer. There's no after-sales service here. But Huizi pressed harder. Fine. We'll take her. But hear me, if my young master so much as scratches himself, the ones who come for you won't be us. The seller trembled violently. The meaning was clear. If the son was harmed, the father would come. Su Wanjun. Young Master Su, I truly can't sell the device. It was hard enough to get. But, how about this? He forced a smile. I'll deliver her to the Tri-Union Zone myself. Free of charge. Consider it friendship. To him, this was Su Wanjuan's son. If he could build ties, travel alongside him, doors would open. Worth far more than a few tens of thousands. And it would ensure the boy came to no harm en route. But he didn't notice. Inside the car, Xiao Fei's tang blade gleamed with a sudden cold light. That'll do. Ning Fan nodded, climbed back into the car and flashed Xiao Fei a sly grin, winking. This kid's got some wit, Chu Hongbo remarked with a faint smile at Ning Fan. Xiao Fei nodded. In her eyes, that middle-aged man was already a dead man walking. Ning Fan, full marks in all 9 trials. She turned to Chu Hongbo. Just now, sorry. A small matter. I understand. Chu Hongbo waved it off generously. Outside the car, Ning Fan had Hui Zi and the middle-aged man install the spirit suppressors. Brother, the Tri-Union Zone's a long way from here. What's your young master doing out this far? The man asked casually as he worked. Strolling. Nothing better to do, Hui Zi muttered, distracted. The man glanced toward the car, but no one inside paid him any attention. That only strengthened his resolve. He had to get to the Tri-Union Zone. Even the servants of a commander's son carried themselves with arrogance. While they worked, Ning Fan wandered the ghost market, circling once to confirm Lin Chuan wasn't there. Then he returned. Young Master Su, it's installed. The man rubbed his hands, smiling obsequiously. When do we leave? Let's go. Nothing worth buying here. Ning Fan's tone was flat. Hui Zi opened the door for him, bowing as he ushered him inside. The seller puffed his chest. Of course. I told you, my stock's the best in the whole market. Cold light flickered in Xiao Fei's eyes. But the man, lost in dreams of climbing into Tri-Union society, didn't notice. He heaved the cage onto the car. The space wasn't small, but with the cage inside it felt cramped. Chu Hongbo clapped Su Ben's shoulder. De Ben, come. Let's switch cars. Got it. Su Ben slung his massive crossbow and swaggered out with him. You get in, Ning Fan beckoned to the seller. The man's heart leapt. Young Master Su seemed to favor him. He climbed in eagerly. Hui Zi hit the accelerator, driving them out of the ghost market. Outside, the man saw the 2 other cars Ning Fan had mentioned. One slipped ahead, the other fell behind, boxing them in. The man clicked his tongue in admiration. Such seasoned escorts. The more he thought, the more envious he became. Young Master Su, when we return to Tri-Union, will you rest a while or head out again? If you want thrills, I've got recommendations. I've roamed far and wide, seen rare things that would suit your taste. He wasn't greedy. He could start as a lackey. Surely he could do better than Hui Zi. Ning Fan ignored him. The man laughed awkwardly, then tried again. His eyes slid to Xiao Fei. Beauty, that blade of yours is fine work. He chuckled, pointing at the cage. Funny thing, you look a lot like my merchandise. Don't take offense. She may be a fiend, but her looks and figure are top tier. If she hadn't turned, she'd have driven men wild. His grin turned lewd. But if she weren't a fiend, young Master Su wouldn't care. Ordinary women are all the same. But a fiend, that's different. Brother Hui, stop the car, Ning Fan said quietly. The vehicle halted at once. The man blinked. No village ahead, no inn behind. Why stop here? Young Master Su, don't tell me my words stirred your appetite? He leered. Shall we step out and give you privacy? Ning Fan smiled. A smile twisted, uncanny. You don't need to get out. I do. He opened the door and stepped down. Hui Zi followed, expression blank, lighting a cigarette. The other 2 cars stopped as well. Wolf Alliance men surrounded them. The seller's gut clenched. Something was wrong. If the young master wanted his fun, they'd unload the fiend. His mind flashed back. The lackey. Now Huizi stood beside Ning Fan, cold-eyed, nothing like the sycophant he'd played before. And Ning Fan had called him Brother Hui. She's called Xiao Yu. The voice came from behind, cold enough to freeze bone. The man spun. Qiao Fei's beautiful face was streaked with tears. What? You said I looked like her. Her gaze bored into him. She's my sister. Of course we look alike. You. His spine iced over. He whipped his head toward Ning Fan. You're not Su Bei. You're not from the Tri-Union. Ning Fan sneered, silent. Panic surged. He tried to summon his spirit servant. But a chill rose from within. Nothing. The spirit suppressors. Installed on the car. By his own hands. He had built his own cage. The tang blade pressed against his throat. Even without a spirit servant he felt its deadly edge. Open it. Qiao Fei's voice rasped. What? The blade nicked his skin. I said open it. He understood. She wanted the cage unlocked. He shook his head violently. No. Impossible. I warn you. That. Her blade pierced his shoulder clean through. Ah. His scream tore the air. Qiao Fei said nothing, yanking the blade free. Wait. I'll open it. Years in the wild had taught him to sense killing intent. Hers was suffocating. He fumbled for the key, unlocked the cage. The moment it opened, Qiao Yu, now a fiend, lunged at him like a beast. Qiao Fei's eyes shimmered with turmoil. She wiped her tears with her sleeve, stepped out of the car and shut the door behind her. Little sister. I promised you. Whoever dares hurt you, I'll kill them. Her whisper broke. Then she collapsed to the ground, hugging her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. From inside the car came shrill screams. Piercing, grating, mixed with the sickening sound of flesh being torn. Qiao Fei crouched alone outside, small and helpless, sobbing uncontrollably. Ning Fan stepped forward and sat beside her. She lifted her head, eyes swollen and red from crying, confusion flickering within. Cry, Feijia. No one will laugh at you. Ning Fan smiled faintly. Only after you cry, after you let it out, can you keep living strong. Her nose stung and she broke down again. But this time she threw her arms around him. Ning Fan stiffened, then slowly wrapped her in his embrace, patting her back gently. Huizi's cigarette was nearly finished. Watching the scene, he smirked, nudged Chu Hongbo with his elbow. Brother Chu, you think this kid's just taking advantage? Chu Hongbo tilted his head. Your captain hugged him first. Huizi shrugged. What, jealous? Chu Hongbo chuckled. No, Huizi gave a bitter smile. When Qiao Fei first joined, I thought she was beautiful. I even had ideas. But after spending time with her, I gave up. Why? Too fierce. Huizi spread his hands. If we ever argued, she'd probably cut me down with that blade. Chu Hongbo rubbed his neck, nodding in agreement. But Qiao Fei seems to think well of this kid, Huizi mused. Could it be, she's thinking of old cow eating young grass? Brother, Chu Hongbo said evenly, I won't meddle in your team's affairs. But your captain's crying her heart out and you're joking like this. Isn't that a bit cruel? Huizi blinked, then laughed. What, you expect me to cry with her? Half an hour later, Qiao Fei had calmed. Her eyes, though, were swollen beyond recognition. From the car still came guttural growls. Which vehicle has the sedatives? She asked Chu Hongbo. He ordered one of his men, who quickly brought a syringe. They had prepared thoroughly. Song Kai knew they were hunting fiends and had supplied even tranquilizers. Qiao Fei handed it to Ning Fan. You go. All right. Ning Fan took the syringe, opened the car door. A wave of blood stench hit him. Before he could adjust, Qiao Yu, drenched in blood, lunged at him. Ning Fan twisted aside, dodging. She missed, and in that instant he jabbed the sedative into her body. She clawed and snarled, but within seconds her strength ebbed and she collapsed. Feijia. Lock her up. Got it. Once Qiao Yu was subdued, Qiao Fei stripped off her own coat and draped it over her sister. Huizi hesitated, then removed his trousers, dressing her as well. Qiao Yu was moved to another car. Though Qiao Fei hadn't seen her sister in years, her longing was immeasurable. Yet she couldn't bear to look at her in this state. Ning Fan and the others cleaned the gore from their vehicle. But the stench lingered. All right, let's move. Chu Hongbao waved. Straight to the Seoul Basin. Their haul from the ghost market was no small thing. Not only had they found Xiao Fei's sister, they had gained a spirit suppressor set for free. Brother Chu, you still riding with us? Huizi asked. Chu Hongbao shook his head. No. I'll go with Qiao Yu's car. Qiao Fei nodded gratefully. Thank you. No need. Chu Hongbao grinned, then pointed at Huizi's undergarments. Nice floral shorts. Huizi flushed crimson. He had only wanted to give Qiao Yu dignity even as a fiend. It had been a gentleman's gesture. Thanks, Huizi, Qiao Fei said sincerely. He scratched his head, embarrassed. Captain, don't be so polite. I'm not used to it. If you like that style, when we're back in the district, I'll buy you a few pairs. Qiao Fei smiled. Ning Fan and Huizi froze. They had rarely seen her smile. And now she was even joking. What are you staring at? Get in. We've got to find Brother Chuan. Blushing, Qiao Fei climbed into the car first. On the road, Ning Fan noticed her mood had lightened. Feijia, what about your sister? Her eyes dimmed, but she quickly steadied herself. When we return to F21, I'll speak with Chief Song. Maybe he can find a place for her. Ning Fan nodded. Chief Song said he'd contact Lin Hai of the Tri-Union. Qiao Yu might recover. Qiao Fei said nothing. She knew he was trying to comfort her. But hope, however fragile, was still hope. An hour later, Chu Hongbao's car stopped first. Knock knock. He came over, tapped the window. We stop here. All right. Everyone disembarked. Their faces hardened. Ahead lay the Seoul Basin. Even from the rim, the oppressive weight pressed down on them. From their vantage, they saw the basin below. Though called a basin, it looked more like a pit. A vast pit hundreds of meters across. Ning Fan's blood quivered as he gazed down. Within, countless fiends wandered like corpses. Mindless, aimless, drifting. He had imagined such a sight. But one thing he hadn't expected. Beneath their feet lay bones. A carpet of shattered limbs, crushed skeletons, even a few dying humans. No wonder they called it the Fiend's Paradise. This. Even Huizi, seasoned as he was, paled. What kind of place is this? I remember my father mentioning it once. Chu Hongbao muttered, brows furrowed. In his time it wasn't called Seoul Basin. It was the Holy Tomb. Holy Tomb? What's that mean? Suben asked curiously. Chu Hongbao shook his head. I don't know. The old men used to say when drinking that this basin was dug out. Once it was a plain. Dug out. Ning Fan stared at the massive pit. How many hands would it take to carve a plane into this? Yes. Chu Hongbao scratched his head. They said it was dug to find a coffin buried beneath. Coffin? At once, Ning Fan thought of his broken sword. The sword coffin. Within it, 8 coffins. Could it be? Old Li, you go down first and scout the situation. Before Ning Fan could unravel the thought, Chu Hongbao was already issuing orders to the Wolf Alliance. Old Li nodded silently. Ning Fan remembered. Old Li's spirit servant was called Refraction. It could bend light, hiding him within the environment. Lu Wei Yongjian, you two protect Old Li. If he's exposed, cover his retreat. Got it, boss. The two answered in unison. Chu Hongbao continued assigning tasks, each tailored to his men's strengths. His leadership was undeniable. He knew every member's abilities and crafted tactics with precision. Captain Qiao, my people are ready. How will you arrange yours? He turned to Qiao Fei. But to his surprise, she didn't answer. She looked at Ning Fan instead. What do you think? Chu Hongbo raised a brow. Qiao Fei was captain of the House of Stray Dogs, yet she deferred to Ning Fan. Was it because the boy truly had the ability? Or was Huizi right, that this woman fancied the old cow eating young grass? Ning Fan stared long at the pit below. Brother Chu, how much do you know about fiends? Chu Hongbo didn't pretend. Not much. Only that they're drawn to souls and controlled by the spirits within them. Ning Fan kept his gaze on the wandering fiends, deep in thought. What are you thinking, boy? Qiao Fei asked curiously. Ning Fan scratched his nose. Tell me, do spirits have thought? The group froze. Chu Hongbo answered first. Of course not. You saw those fiends in the ghost market. They're mindless. Indeed. From Qiao Yu's state it was clear, fiends acted purely on instinct. Everyone had already accepted this. Why was Ning Fan asking such a pointless question? If fiends have no thought, then spirits must have none either, right? Obviously. One young Wolf Alliance fighter snapped. Captain, let's just act. Then why do spirits invade human bodies? Ning Fan asked again. The words chilled every spine. This way. The common belief was that spirits preferred to reside in human bodies rather than weapons. They lingered in weapons waiting for humans to falter. When humans sought their power, spirits would pay rent, lending strength and balance. But when humans craved more, that was the moment spirits seized the chance to truly possess. Most of the time, spirits endured patiently, like cunning hunters waiting. How could such things lack thought? It was a paradox. As Ning Fan's meaning sank in, silence fell. Indeed, if spirits had thought, then fiends' mindless state was contradictory. Why seize a body only to wander like a corpse? So, what are you saying? Chu Hongbo frowned. Ning Fan licked his lips. It's only a guess. Say it, Qiao Fei urged. Ning Fan nodded, eyes glinting. I suspect that when spirits seize a body, they face fierce rejection. His tone hardened. Spirits want control. But humans have thought, will. No one willingly surrenders their body. For example, Fei Jie, your sister Qiao Yu. If she gave her body wholly to the spirit, do you think it would care for you? Qiao Fei understood instantly. If the spirit ruled, it might harm those she loved. Because her kin were not the spirit's kin. So we only want their power, not their control. Ning Fan's eyes narrowed. When spirits invade, human will resists. Faces paled. Some already grasped his meaning. He pointed to the pit. These fiends, like this, because their will is still fighting the spirit for control. All eyes turned downward. Ning Fan's words opened a new path of thought. Yes, the fiend's state was irrational. But explained this way it made sense. So you mean, fiends haven't completely lost themselves? Qiao Fei's voice trembled. Her sister was found. Ning Fan was right. Qiao Yu could still be saved. But it's only a theory, Chu Hongbo cautioned. If fiends are locked in struggle, one side must eventually win. Either the will or the spirit. He stopped short. Realization dawning. Ning Fan smiled. How do you know, the person before you, is truly themselves and not already the spirit? A chill swept the group. The spirits had thought they could disguise themselves as normal humans. How could anyone tell? They couldn't. And one more thing, Ning Fan said, his smile fading. In this struggle human will weakens. But spirits can grow stronger. Qiao Fei's face drained of color. Her pupils shrank. She stared at the fiends below. You mean? Why is this place called Fiend's Paradise? Why do fiends flock to souls? Ning Fan's voice was low, grim. Because in the battle of will, spirits need allies. Fiends absorb souls, evolve to higher levels. The true reason, spirits need other souls to strengthen themselves, to finally crush human will. Silence. No one present dared question Ning Fan again. His theory was too convincing. Think carefully about the nature of fiends. Suddenly everything seemed to make sense. But at the same time, accepting Ning Fan's guess meant overturning everything they had ever believed about fiends. And the most chilling realization was this. From now on they would look at everyone around them with suspicion. This can't be true. One young Wolf Alliance fighter muttered, unwilling to accept. But after that single protest he had no strength or reason to argue further. No one answered him. Because deep down they all knew. Ning Fan's theory was highly possible. Qiao Fei suddenly turned toward the car where Qiao Yu was kept. So, Qiao Yu still has her own will? She's resisting the spirit inside her. Ning Fan nodded lightly. Most likely. Qiao Fei's body trembled. Her eyes filled with conflict. Moments later. If your guess is true, then, have you thought of a way to restore her? I have an idea, Ning Fan said seriously. But I can't guarantee it will work. And this place isn't safe. Even if we try, it should wait. He turned to Chu Hongbo. Brother Chu, the reason I raised this theory is to warn you. Sending your man into the basin even with a spirit servant that can hide is too dangerous. His voice dropped. Fiends may sense spirit servants more keenly than humans. They might not see you, but they will smell the spirit. Chu Hongbo's face darkened. He wasn't offended by Ning Fan's criticism. Instead, his eyes showed a flicker of fear. If Old Li had gone into the soul basin just now, he might already have been torn apart by fiends. Careless. Years of leading the Wolf Alliance through countless battles had made Chu Hongbo arrogant. Only now did he realize they knew far too little about fiends. To act blindly without understanding the enemy was a fatal mistake. What do you think we should do next? Chu Hongbo lowered his pride, asking Ning Fan directly. Not without reason. They had all seen the same things along the way. But Ning Fan alone had pieced together the details, forming judgments about fiends. Whether his theory was fact or not, it sounded frighteningly logical. Ning Fan didn't hesitate. He walked to the edge of the soul basin. Brother Chu, have your men dismantle the spirit suppressors. Chu Hongbo's eyes lit up. He had nearly forgotten they possessed such devices. Ning Fan marked 3 more positions around the rim. Place the spirit suppressors at these 4 points. Then he pointed to the slope. Brother Li, once they're activated, release your spirit servant and stand there. Li hesitated, then nodded silently. Everyone understood. Ning Fan meant to use him as bait. But no one objected. Because without Ning Fan's warning, Li's task would have been far more dangerous. You two support Old Li here, Ning Fan told the others. If fiends come within 10 meters, stop them. Understood. To Ben. Su Ben straightened instantly. It was his first time leaving the district with anyone but his father. He had longed to prove himself. If too many fiends swarm Old Li, thin them out. Ning Fan had already seen the explosive power of Su Ben's arrows. How should I thin them? Kill them all? Su Ben asked. Yes, Ning Fan said with a wry smile. But control your strength. Remember, your Uncle Song's son or Brother Chuan might be among them. I know, Su Ben nodded firmly. Ning Fan continued assigning tasks to every Wolf Alliance fighter. Chu Hongbo tilted his head, watching. Huizi, your boy's sharp. Compared to his own orders, Ning Fan's arrangements were meticulous. Every position accounted for. Not something one could improvise. This kid scored full marks in all 9 trials, Huizi said proudly. Top student of District F32. 9 trials existed in F21 too. But Chu Hongbo had never heard of anyone achieving full marks. And one of those trials was tactics. He whistled softly, interest glinting in his eyes. Huizi noticed and scowled. What, our house of stray dogs is down to 3 people and you want to steal him? Haha. No, you're overthinking. They were still joking when Ning Fan called out. Brother Chu, is your spirit servant combat or support? Combat, Chu Hongbo replied seriously. Good. Stand here. Ning Fan directed him without hesitation. Chu Hongba obeyed, no arrogance taking his place. All right. The spirit suppressors were set, activated, forming a 50 by 50 meter dead zone where spirits could not function. Kid, one thing I don't get, Chu Hongba said from 50 meters back. You want to lure fiends into the zone. But once they're inside, then what? The others shared the same doubt. Fiends without spirit power were still dangerous. Their bodies were altered, strength, speed, healing, all greatly enhanced. Once they're inside, I'll control them. Before their eyes, Ning Fan stepped into the zone. Chu Hongba's gaze sharpened. You're not planning to fight fiends without a spirit servant, are you? Ning Fan smiled. Relax. I won't throw my life away. Without giving him time to ask more, Ning Fan shouted. Brother Li, release your spirit servant. Li glanced at Chu Hongba. After a brief hesitation, Chu Hongba nodded. Spirit servant, refraction. Li activated it. And what happened next made every Wolf Alliance fighter gasp. Fiends nearest to Li froze. Like cats catching the scent of blood. They turned, eyes locking on his position. Exactly as Ning Fan had said. They could smell the spirit. Chu Hongba's eyes snapped to Ning Fan within the zone. If not for this boy, old Li would already be dead. A guttural roar erupted from the basin. Though old Li was a seasoned wanderer, the sight of fiends charging at him, claws bared and fangs gnashing, made his scalp prickle. By rough count there were at least 20 of them. The two men assigned to cover him braced themselves, faces grim. Fan. Should I start shooting? Su Ben stood on high ground, his massive crossbow already leveled, shouting down to Ning Fan. Ning Fan sighed. Not yet. All right, just tell me when. Got it. After dismissing Su Ben, Ning Fan bellowed toward Old Li, whose figure was already vanishing in the chaos. Old Li. Run. Without hesitation, Old Li obeyed, sprinting for his life. Don't withdraw your spirit servant. Ning Fan added. Understood. Old Li tore across the ground, racing toward the spirit suppressor zone. But the fiends were fast. From the tracks in the dirt, Ning Fan could gauge Old Li's position. The fiends were closing in, about to catch him. Support. Spirit servant, golden bell. Spirit servant, vines. The two men unleashed their spirits. A golden bell materialized behind Old Li, slamming into the earth, blocking the foremost fiends. Rah! The fiends shrieked in fury. One of them flared with multicolored light and smashed straight into the bell. Boom! The bell shattered instantly. Its caster staggered, blood spraying from his lips. Damn! 100-soul fiend. From afar, Chu Hongba's eyes narrowed, his voice sharp. Stay sharp, all of you. With the bell destroyed, the fiends surged forward again. From the soil ahead, vines burst forth, coiling around their legs, dragging them down. Rah! Twice obstructed, the fiends were now in a frenzy. One ignited in flames, a sea of fire consuming the vines until nothing remained. The support men's efforts had been undone. Old Li kept running, the spirit suppressor zone now close. But suddenly one fiend accelerated. From the rear to the front in less than a second. A speed-type spirit. Old Li thought he was safe, but danger loomed behind. Deben. Fire. Ning Fan roared. Whip. 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 Boom. 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 Explosions thundered behind Old Li, the shockwave hurling him forward. He tumbled across the ground, scrambled up, desperate to keep running, when a hand clapped his shoulder. Well done, Brother Li. It was Ning Fan. Old Li glanced around, he was visible again. Realizing he had reached the spirit suppressor zone, he collapsed, gasping for breath. The whole ordeal had lasted less than a minute. But only those who lived it knew how terrifying that minute was. No wonder no one dared enter the Soul Basin. This place was hell itself. The fiends, no longer sensing Old Li's spirit, turned their hunger toward the two supporters. They had released spirits too, there was sent to follow. Brother Chu. Ning Fan called back. Chu Hongbo immediately released his spirit. Spirit servant, wild tail. Bone whip in hand, his aura surged. But he didn't strike, he simply stood, eyes locked on the fiends. He was positioned behind the spirit suppressor zone. The fiends were in front. Between them lay 50 meters of dead ground where spirits could not function. The fiends had been charging the supporters. But the moment Chu Hongbo's 100-soul spirit flared, they turned toward him. The stronger scent was irresistible. Brother Li, get out. Ning Fan ordered. Still shaken, Old Li hesitated. Ning Fan had saved his life. Kid, can you really handle this? Stop fussing. Ning Fan snapped. Go. All right. Be careful. Old Li scrambled out of the zone. The fiends surged in. As they crossed the threshold, their twisted faces flickered with confusion. The scent of spirit was gone. Seal it. Ning Fan commanded. Spirit servant, earth prison. Walls of soil rose around the zone, enclosing it completely. 3 meters high, they sealed off all sight. Inside the walls, only Ning Fan remained. So far, every step had followed his plan. But whether it would succeed depended on him alone. Can this kid really do it? Even if his swordsmanship scored full marks in the 9 trials, facing 20 fiends is madness. Chu Hongbo withdrew his spirit. His role had been simple: release 100-soul aura to lure the fiends. He had done less than Old Li. If Ning Fan failed inside, guilt would weigh heavy. This boy's sharp, Huizi muttered, lighting another cigarette. If he dared make this plan, he's at least 90% sure. Chu Hongbo still wasn't convinced. Then, a roar erupted from within the walls. The sound made teeth ache, nerves shiver. Even Huizi's confident face showed worry. Qiao Fei's brows knitted tight. Ning Fan, are you all right? I'm fine. More than fine. His voice rang out from within. Relief washed over them. But none outside knew. Inside the walls, Ning Fan was exhilarated. He had confirmed. Among these fiends, neither Song Kai's son nor Lin Chuan was present. Which meant, all those nights dreaming of being cut down by Jian Wuchou. Finally, it's my turn to cut. The broken sword was already in Ning Fan's grip. The fiends, suppressed by the spirit suppressors, grew even more frenzied. Rah! At last they charged him. Ning Fan's smile faded, his eyes flashing with sharp light. Jian Wuchou, if I take down these fiends, will you reward me with a question? No. The reply was merciless. Ah, worth a try. Maybe I'd trick you into one. Ning Fan stopped speaking to the sword spirit, raised his blade and met the fiends head-on. Outside, the others heard the battle raging within the earthen prison. What shocked them most was the fiends' roars. They were growing weaker. Which meant only one thing. Their numbers were dwindling. Ning Fan was cutting them down. This kid, he's damn impressive, Old Li muttered, finally regaining his breath. Those fiends scare me just to look at. Don't shame the Wolf Alliance. Chu Hongbo snapped, brows furrowed. At your age, fear or not, you hold it in. Old Li flushed red. Qiao Fei and Huizi, realizing what was happening inside, finally let their hearts ease. Hearing Old Li praise Ning Fan, both felt a surge of pride. Like parents hearing their child praised. Kid, holding up. Give us a sign, let us know you're still alive. Huizi shouted toward the prison. I'm busy cutting. What kind of sign do you want? Should I sing while I slash? Ning Fan's irritated voice came back. Huizi raised his brows. Damn, you've grown bold talking to your brother Hui like that? Why don't you come in and cut and I'll stay outside chatting politely? Ning Fan shot back. Huizi's mouth twitched. Chu Hongbo chuckled. Brother Hui, want me to have my men open the walls and send you in? Heh. You're clever, aren't you? Huizi glared, then fell silent. 3 minutes later, the prison grew quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. Done. Ning Fan's voice rang out. The earthen walls crumbled. Ning Fan stood at the edge of the spirit suppressor zone, sword sheathed. His body drenched in blood. Ning Fan, are you all right? Qiao Fei asked quickly, concern in her eyes. I'm fine. The blood isn't mine. Only then did they see behind him. More than 20 fiends all lying dead. The sight was staggering. Though Ning Fan had promised this outcome when he laid out the plan, seeing it realized was still hard to believe. This boy had slain over 20 fiends without using a spirit servant. Shut down the spirit suppressors. We'll need them again. Ning Fan fetched a cloth from the car, wiping the blood from his body. Need them again? Chu Hongbo immediately understood. You mean, to keep using this method? Yes. Rest a bit, then continue. The success had given Ning Fan confidence. Chief Song said his son was single soul level before turning fiend, same as Brother Chuan. If they came to the Soul Basin, they'd likely be wandering the outskirts. So you plan to clear the fiends on the outer rim this way? Chu Hongbo asked. Ning Fan nodded. By my count there are 200 to 300. With rest and recovery we can finish in 3 days. Qiao Fei's face darkened. She looked at the corpses within the zone, then lowered her head in thought. Finally she tugged Ning Fan's sleeve. You're sure you want to do this? Ning Fan blinked. What? She pointed at the dead fiends, her lips trembling. They might have families waiting for them. Ning Fan fell silent. So did the others. They knew Qiao Fei's feelings were different. Her sister was a fiend. Ning Fan, we only came to find Brother Chuan and Chief Song's son. Why must we kill them all? Her brows knitted tight. I thought your plan was just to find their weakness. Ning Fan looked at her quietly. She didn't back down. He turned to Chu Hongbo. Brother Chu, do you think the same? Chu Hongbo hesitated, then shook his head. Your plan, I have no objection. Ning Fan nodded, then looked to Huizi. Brother Hui, you? Huizi waved his hand. Don't ask me. Just tell me what to do. Decisions aren't my thing. You know I failed the 9 trials. No brains. Qiao Fei's face grew darker. You all think it doesn't matter? Ning Fan just said, they haven't fully lost themselves to the spirits. What then? Ning Fan asked sternly. Feijia, what do you think we should do? Qiao Fei faltered. She only felt Ning Fan's way was cruel. But she had no alternative. Feijia, why did we come to the Soul Basin? Ning Fan sighed. To find Brother Chuan. But that doesn't mean. If you can think of another way, we'll follow it. Ning Fan cut her off. But you can't. Can you? Feijia, Brother Hui. My time in the House of Stray Dogs has been short. I barely knew Brother Chuan. But I've learned much. My first lesson came from him. Ning Fan's voice hardened. We are not saviors. The first time I left District F32, I saw people begging for help on the ground. But Brother Chuan and all of you ignored them. Asked why. No one answered. Now I understand. My question was childish. Saving strangers would only endanger our team. Why should we risk ourselves for those we don't know? He pointed toward the basin. And these fiends, do we know them? Compared to strangers, shouldn't we focus on minimizing losses among our own? Qiao Fei's body trembled. Feijia, I know your sister is a fiend. That gives you sympathy. But we cannot let that sympathy put our people at greater risk. They may have families. But so did those who died in the wild. Must we carry the burden of every family? Qiao Fei said nothing. But from her expression it was clear, she still could not accept it. Feijia, you understand these truths better than I do. Ning Fan sighed. If we enter the Soul Basin and search one by one, the risk is too great. Compared to gambling with our own lives, I'd rather cut down these fiends we don't know. The team fell silent. Some of the Wolf Alliance men looked at Ning Fan differently now. It was hard to keep seeing this seemingly young boy as a child. I support his plan, Chu Hongbo declared firmly. My men matter more to me than fiends. Qiao Fei's gaze swept across them. No one spoke for her. She bit her lip. Fine. Since you've decided, we'll do it your way. With that, she turned toward the car where Qiao Yu lay. Ning Fan glanced at Hui Zi. Brother Hui, is my way really too heartless? I just think you've changed a lot. Hui Zi smirked, staring at him for a long moment before chuckling. You're harsher than when we first met. Ning Fan blinked. Hui Zi waved a hand. I'll check on the captain. Women being soft-hearted is normal. You all do what needs doing. Call me when it's time. After Hui Zi left, Su Ben came striding over with his giant crossbow slung across his shoulder. What's the fuss? He stopped near Ning Fan. Arguing over something this trivial? What's the point? Everyone turned to him. Su Ben raised a brow. These fiends. If we don't kill them, they'll either be captured or consumed by spirits anyway, right? And that Qiao woman saying someone still cares for them? Who? If anyone cared, why haven't they come for them all this time? If my father turned fiend, I'd be the first to find him. If it killed me, so be it. I couldn't stand to see him wandering like a corpse. The fact these fiends have been roaming here so long means those who cared have already given up. If even their loved ones abandoned them, why should we waste our pity? Got nothing better to do. His blunt words made Chu Hongba sigh. De Ben, you're starting to sound like a fool with hidden wisdom. You're the fool. My father says I'm clever. Su Ben shot back indignantly. Meanwhile, Hui Zi had joined Qiao Fei. If you're here to persuade me to accept their decision, don't bother. Qiao Fei stared at the unconscious Qiao Yu. I can't accept it. Hui Zi said nothing. He sat on a stone by the car, lit another cigarette. Smoke somewhere else, Qiao Fei snapped. You don't know what's good for you, Hui Zi muttered. Her anger flared. What's that supposed to mean? Am I supposed to thank you for keeping me company? I wasn't talking about me. I meant your attitude toward Ning Fan. For once, Hui Zi's tone was serious. You, me, him, we're House of Stray Dogs. Ning Fan just earned a bit of authority. And you stripped it away in front of everyone. Was that right? Don't you think his plan is too cruel? Qiao Fei's voice rose. Cruel, yes. But don't you see? You only think it's wrong because he proposed it. Qiao Fei froze. If Brother Chuan were here and he suggested this plan, you'd feel uneasy, but would you lash out like this? She clenched her teeth but said nothing. In truth, we've been seeing him as too simple. We forget what he's endured, how it's changed him. Hui Zi sighed. Neither you nor I want to believe a child could propose something so ruthless. We look at him and unconsciously project our younger, naive selves onto him. We want him to soothe the memory of who we once were. So when he changes, we grow sensitive. We don't want to see him become like us, vile and ruthless just to survive. This time Qiao Fei did not argue. Captain, I don't know what Ning Fan will become. But I do know this, he cares for you and me. And that's enough. Hui Zi glanced toward the Wolf Alliance men preparing nearby. Do you know why I said you don't appreciate him? Qiao Fei looked at him, waiting. Old Li's job, you were better suited. Her eyes widened. Li's refraction is useless against fiends. Your flower dance is faster. As bait you'd have been perfect. And my shadow spirit is ideal for delaying pursuit. Yet Ning Fan left us out. Do you think he overlooked it? Oh. He chose not to risk us. Qiao Fei swallowed hard. Hui Zi's smile softened. We thought we were protecting him. But all along, he's been protecting us in his own way. At the same time, Tri-Union Zone. Commander Su, I've received word about the young master. A man in his 40s, cropped hair, knelt before Su Wanjun. Someone claims to have seen him near the Fiend Market by the Seoul Basin. The Fiend Market? Su Wanjun's brows knit. What's Little Bei doing there? We don't yet know. Su Wanjun thought for a moment, then pulled out his phone, dialing. Where are you now? Commander, I've reached District F-27. What did your investigation find? As Yi Liang said, the monitors here did capture the young master and handed him to Yi Liang. What about Li Jiang? He claims he knows nothing of what happened afterward. Fine. Su Wanjuan's face darkened. No matter what, anyone who dares seize my son will pay. Understood. After you deal with this, go to the fiend market near the Seoul Basin. Someone saw little Bei there. Yes, Commander. Ending the call, Su Wanjun tapped the armrest, lost in thought. Why does this all feel strange? He murmured. And who in the entire F region has the power to mobilize 3,000 soul masters at once? The group had been hunting fiends around the Seoul Basin for 2 days. So far no one had died, but morale was low. The reason was simple: they hadn't found Lin Chuan. Nor had they seen Song Kai's son. Most of the fiends on the outskirts had already been cleared, and everyone knew hope was fading. And though no one had been killed, the number of wounded kept rising. A day earlier, Old Li had been injured when he ran too slow, forcing others to take his place as bait. In just 2 days, 4 Wolf Alliance members had suffered varying injuries. Fortunately, none fatal and all recoverable. Chu Hongbo could see Ning Fan's bias. No one was more suited to the bait role than Qiao Fei. Yet Ning Fan never mentioned her. But Chu Hongbo showed no dissatisfaction. In such circumstances, favoritism was forgivable. If it were him, he'd put his own people first too. Besides, the most dangerous role, Ning Fan had taken it himself. For that alone, Chu Hongbo could not complain. Another day and it'll be clean, Chu Hongbo said, sitting on a ridge, cigarette in hand. He glanced at Ning Fan, whose clothes were stiff with dried blood. If we still don't find Lin Chuan, what then? Ning Fan's arm was wrapped in bandages. He too had been hurt. Even with his swordsmanship much improved, constant battle left room for mistakes. At Chu Hongbo's words, Ning Fan's eyes dimmed. For now, I don't know. The F region was vast. Finding one man was near impossible. The Seoul Basin had been a hope, but once hope was gone, only confusion remained. What about beyond Lin Chuan? After these days together, Chu Hongbo had grown curious about the boy. Money, Ning Fan said, gazing toward home. To buy medicine for my mother. Plague poison. Yes. Ning Fan gave a bitter smile. Truth is, I became a wanderer just to earn money for her cure. How much more do you need? A long way yet. He shrugged. This mission's supplies were covered by the chief, so we saved some. The team has maybe 100,000 sola. Split by head, I only get a few tens of thousands. Chu Hongbo stroked his chin. And subtract the 50,000 you owe me, hardly anything left. Ning Fan smirked. Trying to remind me? Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. Chu Hongbo chuckled. I heard from old Su you stirred trouble in F-32? Can't go back yet. Yeah. Killed a researcher. Ning Fan spoke casually. But it's not that big. With enough money to smooth things over, it'll be fine. After all he'd been through, Ning Fan realized killing Yang Beihai wasn't as catastrophic as he once thought. Money solved most things. At worst, he'd swallow his pride and ask Song Kai to speak for him in F-32. Interested in staying in F-21? Chu Hongbo asked, unable to resist. Work with me. If Hui Zi and Qiao Fei agree, all of you. No. Ning Fan shook his head with a smile. If we switch sides, the House of Stray Dogs ceases to exist. Fair enough. Chu Hongbo wasn't one to press. He rose, clapped Ning Fan's shoulder. When jobs come up in the district, I'll recommend you. Earn enough sooner, get your mother treated. Thanks, Brother Chu. No need. He stretched. Continue. Continue. Ning Fan lifted his broken sword. The sooner it's done, the sooner we can rest easy. By day's end, they had cleared the Seoul Basin's outskirts. And though they had braced themselves, confirming Lin Chuan and Song Kai's son were not among the fiends still left them hollow. On the way back, Ning Fan's car carried 5 The 3 stray dogs, Su Ben and the unconscious Qiao Yu. Thank you. The words came suddenly from Qiao Fei. Ning Fan blinked, realizing she spoke to him. What? She turned away, staring out the window. Since their quarrel 3 days ago, they hadn't spoken. Her first words now were gratitude. He didn't quite understand. When she said no more, Ning Fan smiled faintly. You're welcome. Qiao Fei turned back, her eyes conflicted. Feijia, any orders? Just say it. Let me think. She looked out again, lost in thought. On the road they passed the Fiend Market. This time they didn't stop. But compared to 3 days ago, it was livelier. 10 or more cars parked outside. Back in F21, Ning Fan went straight to Song Kai. Song Kai looked more haggard than before, his smile thinner. Brother Song. In his office, Ning Fan spoke apologetically. Sorry. We didn't find them. It's fine. Song Kai forced a smile, waving it off. It was only hope. If found, it's heaven's grace. If not, that's reality. He had known the result the moment they returned. Your Captain Lin Chuan? Not found either. No. Ning Fan sighed. Then rest here in F21 for now, Song Kai said, disinterested. Ning Fan rose, hesitated, then said, Brother Song, about the supply money when we're better off. Forget it. Small change. Song Kai cut him off. Keep it. I gift to you. Ning Fan didn't argue. It was no small sum and pride wasn't worth it. Thank you, Brother Song. He opened the door to leave. Old Su's gone. Ning Fan froze, whipping around, fear in his eyes. Song Kai gave a bitter smile. Gone, not dead. Ning Fan exhaled in relief. Where? Song Kai pointed upward. Ning Fan's face shifted. The upper city? Yes. Song Kai sneered. Gone back to be an upper city lord. Ning Fan knew it was only resentment speaking. The 2 old comrades had shared deep ties. Su's departure left Song Kai aching. Does De Ben know? Probably, not yet. Song Kai's voice grew serious. Tell him. If he cries in front of me, I'll break. All right. Ning Fan agreed. But after a pause, he couldn't help asking, Brother Song, do you think old Su will ever come back? Song Kai froze. After a long silence, he sighed. Unlikely. 5 minutes later, Ning Fan stepped out of the chief's office building. Qiao Fei and Hui Zi were waiting at the door. Ning Fan repeated the conversation he'd just had with Song Kai. When they heard old Su had gone back to the upper city, both were taken aback. What about De Ben? Hui Zi asked. I want to bring him into the House of Stray Dogs. Ning Fan seemed to have already decided. We don't yet know the full extent of his strength, but I'm certain it's not weak. And as for his character, I think he's solid. He paused, then added, Ever since Su Bei ambushed us, I've been thinking, the House of Stray Dogs lacks a member with long-range capability. If we'd had someone covering from outside that day, maybe. He didn't finish the thought. Will he agree? Hui Zi asked. Shouldn't be a problem. If you both approve, I'll talk to him. Ning Fan's confidence was clear. No problem for me, Hui Zi shrugged. De Ben's a good one. Both turned to Qiao Fei. She pressed her lips together. On the way back, her eyes had been flickering with hesitation, as if weighing something important. Fei Jie, you think it's not right? Ning Fan asked when she didn't respond. But what she said next stunned them both. Ning Fan, you should be the captain of the House of Stray Dogs. Ning Fan froze. Hui Zi's eyes widened. The hesitation in Qiao Fei's gaze vanished, replaced by solemnity. I'm not speaking out of anger nor impulse. She looked deep into Ning Fan's eyes. I admit in some decisions I've been too emotional. But after watching you these past days, I see your thinking is clearer. Fei Jie, this joke's too much. I'll say it again, I'm not joking. Her voice was firm. Take Chu Hongbo for example. Before we cooperated, we agreed Wolf Alliance would lead in decisions we'd follow. Yet in the end the tactics were carried out according to your plan. That means even Chu Hongba acknowledged your ability. And me, even now I still think your methods are cruel. But I can't deny this mission minimized our losses. So from every angle you're more suited to lead. I don't want my mistakes dragging the House of Stray Dogs into ruin. Ning Fan frowned, troubled. Fei Jia, don't hide behind age or experience. No one's born a captain. Qiao Fei sighed. Truth is, since Brother Chuan left, being captain has been exhausting. Before, I didn't have to think, he gave the orders, I just carried them out. But now, every day I worry how to keep us safe, whether my decisions will hurt someone. I'm not a meticulous woman. I'd rather solve problems with my blade than with plans. Ning Fan, don't you see? These past days most of what Huizi and I did was arranged by you. She smiled faintly. Honestly, I've been more of a captain in name only. So let you take it. I'll be at peace and you can use your talents. Ning Fan realized she was serious. Ever since their disagreement she had been thinking about this. Now after careful thought she spoke her decision. Kid, don't refuse, Huizi said, clapping his shoulder. I believe in you too. Ning Fan suddenly felt the weight on his shoulders. Not Huizi's hand, but something called responsibility. Less than half a month since joining the House of Stray Dogs, and already the two veterans were naming him captain. It was a proud moment, but also a burden he might never lay down. Good. I feel lighter now. Qiao Fei smiled, radiant. She even winked at him. From now on, lead us well, Captain. She gave him no chance to refuse. From this moment, the House of Stray Dogs was Ning Fan's to command. Half a month ago he had first met Lin Chuan in F32, joining after twists and turns. Now he stood in Lin Chuan's place. Qiao Fei's timing was no accident. They hadn't found Lin Chuan in the Seoul Basin. Even if they didn't want to accept it, the House of Stray Dogs had to adapt to life without him. Captain, I agree to De Ben joining. Go talk to him. Qiao Fei's tone was light. As for Qiao, you take your time. I'm not in a rush. She didn't want to burden the new captain too much. All right. Ning Fan exhaled deeply. Don't worry, Fei Jia. I'll find a way for your sister. Half an hour later, Ning Fan arrived at Su Zhang's door. He knocked softly. The door was unlocked. He pushed it open. Inside, Su Ben leaned against the bed, his giant crossbow beside him. You're here. He grinned, waving Ning Fan over. So, what did Uncle Song say? Didn't find his son, he didn't get mad. No. In fact, he wasn't upset at all. He even said the supplies were a gift. Ning Fan tried to sound casual. Your Uncle Song. My brother Song, he's generous. Su Ben raised a brow. Taking advantage, huh? Haha. He told me to call him that. If you don't like it, take it up with him. Ning Fan sat down on a clean spot. Su Ben glanced at him. My dad talked to him before he left, didn't he? Ning Fan froze. Su Ben chuckled. You're here to tell me, aren't you? Ning Fan tilted his head, staring at him. Sometimes I don't know if you're truly foolish or secretly sharp. Hell with you. Either way, I'm a fool. Su Ben cursed with a laugh, then sighed. From the moment he sent me out with you, I knew he was leaving. Ning Fan realized. Su Ben wasn't stupid. The big, goofy-looking guy was clear-headed inside. Why, Dad? Too stubborn. Su Ben's mouth twisted. After all these years, what's left to cling to? Why go back just to die? His eyes reddened. He's gone. 18 years of raising me. Tell me, who do I repay that debt to now? As expected. This iron-headed fool understood everything. I'm not my father's real son. Su Ben gazed at the giant crossbow, speaking slowly. Did you know that? Ning Fan hesitated, then nodded. I knew. My father always wanted to hide it from me, but I've known for a long time. Su Ben sighed. I'm tall and handsome, he's thin and dark. Did he really think I was too stupid to notice? Ning Fan didn't laugh. He sat quietly across from him. You came here to recruit me, didn't you? Su Ben suddenly shifted the topic. Ning Fan didn't dodge. Yes. Interested. I have one condition. What condition? If there's a chance, go with me to the upper city. Fire flickered in Su Ben's eyes. He raised me for 18 years. If he's alive, I'll care for him. If he's dead, I'll bury him. All right. Then I'll join. Su Ben was decisive, giving his answer without hesitation. Good. Then as captain of the House of Stray Dogs, I welcome you. From now on we eat from the same trough. Ning Fan extended his hand. Su Ben blinked. Captain? Wasn't Xiaojie your captain? She gave it to me. Ning Fan smiled. Su Ben stared at him for a long moment, then muttered, 3 people in your little group and you still play at coups in succession? Shut up. Fei Jie gave it willingly. Soon after, Ning Fan called Xiao Fei and Huizi in. The House of Stray Dogs had not only changed captains, it had gained a new member. Mind if I say something? Ning Fan still felt awkward in the role of captain. You're the captain. Say what you want. Who's going to stop you? Huizi grinned. Ning Fan grew serious. De Ben, since you've joined us, we need to understand your strength. All right. Su Ben nodded. I'm strong. The 3 of them rolled their eyes. Be specific. Ning Fan pressed. Su Ben smirked. I'm an archer. My spirit servant is heavy cannon. 100 soul level. All 3 froze. They had seen Su Ben's power before, knew he wasn't weak. But they hadn't expected his spirit servant to be 100 soul level. The same tier as Su Bei and Chu Hongbo. Ning Fan's eyes lit up. Xiao Fei and Huizi understood instantly. They'd struck gold. It made sense. Su Jiang had often taken him out, exposing him to countless souls. Then let me explain our side. Ning Fan was clearly excited. Fei Jie's spirit servant is Flower Dance, 10 soul level, focused on combat, assassination and assault. Huizi's is Shadow, single soul level, skilled in ambush, interrogation and control. As for me, Ning Fan knew Jian Wuchou wasn't technically a spirit servant, but for clarity he said, Jian Wuchou single soul level. But mine is special. It works even inside spirit suppressor zones. Damn, that's insane. Su Ben exclaimed. No wonder you could cut fiends inside the suppressor. You're cheating. Watch your mouth. Ning Fan groaned inwardly. Between Huizi's chatter and Su Ben's bluntness, peace would be rare. All right, now that we understand each other, let's talk direction. Ning Fan turned to Xiao Fei. Fei Jie, about your sister. I'll study it carefully. I have a friend who knows spirits. I'll reach out. Fine. Your captain. Do as you see fit. Xiao Yu is currently housed with the Wolf Alliance, thanks to Chu Hongbo's offer. And one more thing. Ning Fan looked embarrassed. I became a wanderer to earn money for my mother's medicine. So I want to take more missions, earn enough sooner to cure her. Use the team's money first, Xiao Fei said firmly. Heal her, then repay later. I don't spend much anyway, Huizi added. All 3 turned to Su Ben. He raised a brow. Why look at me? I only ask one thing. Keep me fed with good food. Ning Fan's heart warmed. All right. I won't pretend to refuse. That night, after everyone retired, Ning Fan sat on his hotel bed. He pulled out the phone Wen Kai had given him. Only one number was saved, labeled your Kaijia. He dialed. Rang for a long time. Hello. When Kai's voice came through, Ning Fan felt a rush of warmth. Kaijia, it's me. I know. Her tone was cold. Kaijia, is something wrong over there? He asked gently. She said nothing. Do you need my help? No. Her voice was sharp. I'm hanging up. Don't contact me again. Kaijia, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to neglect you. Cut the crap. When Kai snapped. Who do you think is waiting for you? Ning Fan felt guilt. She had cared for him in F21 and he had let her down. But before he could explain, another voice came on the line. You captured the young master, didn't you? Ning Fan's spine went cold. Who are you? Zhang Wenchun, sub-captain of Dark Lodge Tri-Union Zone. The man's voice dripped with mockery. Your woman's tough. Nearly dead and she still won't sell you out. Ning Fan gripped the phone until it cracked. What have you done to Kai Jie? Heh. Want to know? Zhang sneered. Come to District F-27. See for yourself. He didn't waste words. I'll wait 3 days. The line went dead. Ning Fan's face was stone. He put the phone away, dressed, slung the broken sword across his back. His body burned, his chest seethed with heat he couldn't suppress. Su Bei had backing, he couldn't touch him. They had taken Su Bei away, he endured. But now they wouldn't let him endure. Then no one would live in peace. Ning Fan strode out, knocking on Qiao Fei and Hui Zi's doors. They emerged confused. What's going on? Find a Ben. Gather. What's happening? Hui Zi rubbed his sleepy eyes. We're going back to F-27, Ning Fan said, his face grim, eyes blazing with fire. To kill. An hour later, the 4 members of the House of Stray Dogs were already in the car. Hui Zi yawned as he drove. Su Ben sat in the back, clutching his giant crossbow. Should have known better than to join you lot. Can't even get a full night's sleep. Ning Fan said nothing. He wasn't in the mood for jokes. Now that his head had cooled, he could piece together the situation in District F-27. Su Bei must have returned to the Tri-Union Zone, where Su Wanjun saw his injuries. After questioning him, he learned his son had been humiliated in F-27. So the mighty Su Wanjun sent men to avenge his son. As captain of the monitoring team, Wen Kai naturally bore the brunt of their wrath. What weighed on Ning Fan's chest was the thought that Wen Kai must have endured unimaginable torture. Yet she still hadn't given him up. Only Wen Kai knew Ning Fan had gone to F-21. If she had spoken, they would have found him long ago. For her past care and for her present silence, Ning Fan had no choice. He had to go. De Ben, when we reach F-27, you go in first. Scout the situation. You're a stranger there. All right. Tu Ben shrugged. Fei Jie, you'll be second. Head to the black market, say you're looking to buy weapons. See what they say. Got it. And me? Hui Zi asked, glancing back. You're coming with me to F-32. Hui Zi blinked. F-32? We're wanted there. It's fine. We won't stay long. Just wait outside. Ning Fan's eyelids trembled. I'll deliver medicine to my mother, then we leave. Medicine? Special medicine. Hui Zi was stunned. Where'd you get it? I heard back in F-32. The research institute has a dose. You're going to rob the institute? Not only Hui Zi but even Qiao Fei's pupils contracted in shock. This trip to F-27 I might not survive. If I die, my mother has no chance. I don't have time to save money slowly. Ning Fan's voice was hoarse. Being chosen by the upper city was my first path. Failing that, joining the House of Stray Dogs and earning money as a wanderer was my second. But if I can't earn enough within half a year, robbing the institute is the last path. He had thought of this long ago. But the reason he now chose it was far different than he had imagined. If I live, I'll bring my mother to F-21. We'll raise the banner of the House of Stray Dogs again. But if I die... He looked at Qiao Fei with guilt. Fei Jie, you'll have to be captain again. Anyone could see. Ning Fan was going to F-27 with the resolve to die. For the first time, Qiao Fei and Hui Zi saw him truly enraged. Part of that fury was for Wen Kai. But the rest was the eruption of everything he had suppressed. The scorn of the upper city. The betrayal of the House of Stray Dogs. The frustration of capturing Su Bei yet being unable to punish him. All of it had festered inside Ning Fan, fermenting until now, when it could no longer be contained. Qiao Fei's brows knitted tight. You weren't planning to let us help you save her? This is my burden. Ning Fan nodded. The enemy is Dark Lodge of the Tri-Union Zone. He remembered the crushing aura of Yi Liang. He remembered Deputy Meng being slain before he could even react. He owed Wen Kai. But the others did not. Dragging them into this was unnecessary. Qiao Fei's face darkened. Captain, you still don't understand the meaning of the House of Stray Dogs. Ning Fan froze. She continued, we've met many Wanderer teams, like the Windcutters, the Skull Gang, the War Bears, or the Wolf Alliance. Haven't you felt anything from those names? Truthfully, Ning Fan hadn't thought much about it. He figured names were chosen just to sound good. But Huizi, eyes on the road, spoke quietly. We're called the House of Stray Dogs. Ning Fan's heart stirred. Qiao Fei clapped his shoulder. Home. Do you understand? But Feijia. No buts. She smiled faintly. You'll decide what we do. If you insist on going alone, then we'll act on our own. Without your plan, we'll face greater risk. She was cornering him. If he didn't take them, they'd go anyway. That would be even more dangerous. So for their safety, he had to bring them. Ning Fan's nose stung. In this rotten world, to have friends who truly cared. He was grateful. All right. He nodded firmly. Once you've gathered intel, we'll meet at the cave. Good. Qiao Fei smiled. The rest of the ride was quiet. Only Huizi stayed awake to drive. The others rested, conserving strength. Every one of them knew the risks. Veteran wanderers knew how to prepare themselves. At last, near District F-27, Su Ben and Qiao Fei got out. Be careful. I don't know how many Tri-Union men are inside. Don't get spotted. Ning Fan warned. Relax. Su Ben pulled out a thick wad of sola. I'm going in like a lord. The money was given by Ning Fan. Since he had decided to rob the Institute for Medicine, money no longer mattered. Parting ways, Huizi drove on. 4 hours later, they reached the walls of District F-32. Ning Fan got out, telling Huizi to wait. Returning to F-32 felt surreal. The last time he left was after killing Yang Beihai. Since then, he had changed. At the gate, Ning Fan slipped 1,000 sola through the window. The guard wasn't the one Lin Chuan used to tip. Well, young man, The guard grinned, pocketing the money, and opened the gate without fuss. Ning Fan nodded in thanks. Inside F-32, the familiar stench hit him. Foul yet oddly comforting. You from F-32? You look familiar, the guard asked idly. Ning Fan smiled. Born and raised. The guard chuckled. Impressive. So young and you survived outside. I like you. Ning Fan didn't linger. As he headed toward the institute, his eyes caught something by the wall. A rotting plank tossed on a trash heap. Glancing around, seeing no one watching, he pulled it free, wiped it clean, and tucked it into his coat.